Okay. 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 I'm gonna give it a ride into town, see how we do. Get to the car wash and get this bike washed up finally. Okay. So this area that we're pulling out of, this is called the Shavano Wildlife Management Area. We spent, several days there leading up to the big blizzard that came in. And that's when I left that area. Because, and you can see here, we're pretty far off of the paved road. And it's hard to tell, but like right there, I just went down a pretty steep incline, and really this whole drive out of here is downhill. So my concern with that snowstorm coming was that if I went into town, I wouldn't be able to get back up there because this would have been covered in snow and very slippery and up hills. And it's already in a couple spots, it's a pretty tough drive, even when it's dry. And with this totally blanketed in snow, I wasn't sure that I would be able to get out of here and then get back into the camp with the snow cover. So Shavano, Shavano Wildlife Management Area. It's a huge, huge place. I think the only downside to it is there's no water around. There's no creeks or rivers or lakes or anything like that. It's very, very dry up there. And that was the one thing that was kind of a letdown there. Walking Lefty around, it was super, super warm when we were there. So we went from 90-degree days. We had like 3 days in a row in the 90s. And then 2 days later, there was 2 feet of snow on the ground. So quite a drastic change in weather. So getting the bike into town here, what I'm doing is going into town to get the bike cleaned up because the bike got really caked with mud, like a real clay mud, back at the last spot we were at, and I never got a chance to get it washed off. So this spot here into town, I'm gonna say it's from here to the car wash was maybe 6 miles total. It's about a mile till we just hit that pavement. It's about a mile of dirt road, and then probably another 5 miles to get to the car wash, which is right next to Walmart right in town. That side road off to the left that we just passed, brand new road cut up into the hillside, and some brand new, really beautiful houses built up there. I'm sure they're very high dollar. So that road is a freshly built, paved road that goes up to those, from what I can see, just a few houses that are cut up onto the hillside. Coming up right here is a little wooden bridge, and that passes over a creek, but the creek was totally dry. If you look at the satellite view of the area, you can see that there's a creek bed there, and in the satellite view it actually showed water, but it was dry because it's been such a dry spell up there, so that creek was all dried up. So along here are different ranches. I don't know. I mean, they were active, they had signage and fencing, and there's a housing development right there with some new houses built, spread out pretty far from each other. But you know, when you look at these houses and then you look at their surrounding, their view that they have, what a gorgeous place to have a house. You've got mountains like ringing your whole peripheral view all along the horizon. You've got mountains everywhere. Just a gorgeous place. But you are, you know, you're high elevation and you're not near any metropolitan cities. You're about, what, 2+ hours from Denver, from Colorado Springs, so you're pretty far out there. This road along here was all 35 miles an hour, so really nice road to ride on at a slow pace and really get to soak in the scenery. And then when we get up to the end here where it T-bones into a 65 mile an hour 2-lane road that I have to jump out onto. Here I'm coming up to the 65 mile an hour road, and this is the first time that I've tried to take my 250 motorcycle up to that kind of speed. I've always been on slower roads, so this is the first time that I've revved it up, and it went right up to 60, 65, no problem. So I was, because I've read a lot about, you know, that model of motorcycle, the KLX 250, doesn't have a ton of power, which is great for me, and that highway speeds are a problem. But I, like right here, as I recall, I was doing 55, 60 without any kind of issue, and still had plenty of throttle left to go faster. So I was impressed with the bike. It really did this trip great. I was really impressed with it. Coming up here on the left, you will see Walmart. And this Walmart right here is going to play an important part in an upcoming video. I don't want to say it saved our lives, but it was a welcome sight at a really tough time for Lefty and I. I got to give a real shout out to the operators of this car wash. I've been to a lot of car washes this type, the self-serve kind, where the machines are broken, or the card reader, or they don't accept cards, or the card reader is broken, and the foaming brush is so beat up and full of garbage that you wouldn't want to touch it on anything. But this car wash, and I went here in total before we left the area 3 times. Took the truck there, then I took the bike, and then I took the truck one last time before we pulled out of town. And the place was just as good as it could get. Everything functions, everything was in great shape, clean. They have vacuum stations. So I was really impressed, and I just want, if you're in Salida and you need to wash your truck, go to this car wash. It's right next to Walmart, right on the main drag in Salida. You won't be disappointed. It's a really great place, so I really want to give a shout out and thumbs up to the owners of that place. And if you're wondering, yes, I did spray water right towards the camera. The camera was mounted to my helmet, and so I propped my helmet up on a concrete pole that was kind of in the corner of this bay, and pointed it over towards the bike, and just fairly far away, but that water is spraying out of there. Right there, you can see it. So not only was my helmet over there, but I also had my backpack hanging on a hook on the wall right over there. And so it all got kind of lightly dusted with water, but not a lot of water. The camera was fine. The camera, even without the waterproof case on it, the camera is water resistant as it is. So I just dried it off and it was fine. And then my backpack was fine too. It dried right out on the drive back up to the camp. So, live and learn. I'll make sure next time when I position my camera for a washing session that I don't point the high pressure power water wand towards the camera. Here on towel drying the bike, I gotta let everybody know about this drying towel that I have. This drying towel is, I don't know what kind of science it has in it, but it can pick up water like you would not believe. I'm putting a link to it in the video description. It's from Chemical Guys. I got it off of Amazon. I've had it for quite a while. It's a microfiber 24 by 36, I believe, towel, but it will dry up I can dry basically my whole truck with that towel. It will absorb so much water. It's just an incredible drying towel. If you need a drying towel, go and buy this one. You will not be disappointed, guaranteed. Again, I gotta talk about how beautiful the scenery is in this town. When you spin 360 degrees, what you see are mountains. It's just so beautiful. And there were moments when I was riding along here and I'm seeing these houses set off back from the road, and then thinking to myself, just, gosh, these people, they come out of their house and just absorb the beautiful scenery, that they're so lucky to be in such a beautiful place. I really had some real moments hit me when I was in this area here at just how pretty it is. It's hard to hear what I'm saying, but I'm talking right now because this road, some of the most severe washboarding that I've ever driven on. I've driven on a lot of dirt roads that had a lot of washboarding. The difference on this road, the washboarding, the peaks, and I'm not exaggerating, some of them were 6 inches tall, and that caused my truck to like hip hop. It was like a lowrider going over these things, and you know, they were staggered. So the left tires were going over a bump when the right tires weren't, and so the truck got kind of hippity hopping back and forth. It was really, really tough on my truck going up that road. Now at a certain point, it changed over to a more rocky substrate, and that was better. The rocks at least diminished the washboarding. Like here, there's not as much washboarding because there's more rocks built into it. But the flat section back there at the beginning, I had to go, like my speedometer wasn't even registering miles per hour because I was going so slow because the truck just wanted to hop up and down. It was really severe. So that was a downside to going up into this area. Now this section right here, this starts an elevation climb right here. Fairly steep, a lot of rocks, a lot of ruts, and I was really concerned with the snow coming that this section right here that I would not have been able to get back up into the camp. You can see that truck in front of me rocking back and forth, and then this section, like starting right here, you can kind of see the elevation in the video, but it doesn't show it. Right there is very steep going up with a lot of ruts and a lot of rocks. And going up in the truck when it was dry, I just had to put my foot in it and hammer on up it. But if it was covered in 1 or 2 feet of snow, I don't know if it would be doable.
Oh.
And this is my typical welcome home routine that Lefty goes through. Elaine was keeping an eye on him for me, so thank you for that. And thank you everyone for watching the video today and coming along on this ride with me. I really appreciate everyone's viewership. Leave me some comments. I've got a bunch of more videos in the can that I'll be putting out here real soon. So thank you, everyone. Everybody take care and be safe.